No podcast is really ever gone. All right.
It's my palpy.
That's Antony's palpy.
Yeah.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, episode 6.
Before and after the movies.
We are doing Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Episode
9.
9.
Episode 9.
Yep.
Antony, directed by...
J.J. Abrams.
Starring Daisy Ridley.
John Boyega.
Oscar Isaac.
Carrie Fisher.
Adam Driver.
Probably Mark Hamill.
Benicio del Toro.
Frank Oz.
Lupito Nyong'o.
Yep. Who else are we looking at in this movie? Anthony Daniels.
I don't think he's in it anymore, man.
Is he not? He still does the voice. Like,
dear.
2 weeks before it comes out. They still have to like remix it with 3 other actors just so they can put his name on it.
All right. Let's get into it. Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker.
Just Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. Let's get into it. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Before,
you know why I think that's important? Because I think the Skywalker implies like a person, whereas I think this is more Rise of Skywalker is in the entire generation, the entire family, the entire bloodline that this entire saga is about.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that because I'm hoping to get into early predictions. I'm hoping Rey is not revealed to be a Skywalker.
Right. I don't think so.
It's more so like she's following the Skywalker way.
Yeah, and well, I have a theory of who. Well, we'll get into it.
Okay, we'll get into it.
But
so
I just wanted to quickly ask you, as we grew up with the Star Wars franchise. It's a cliche, of course. But yeah, we do love this franchise. We're big fans. Which is funny because I recently have gone on a journey of all 6 with my girlfriend who'd never seen any of them, which is kind of interesting to like rewatch them. And it is crazy. Like, I'll probably get slated for saying this, but they all have big flaws.
Oh, yeah. Like, you go back and visit the original trilogy and you can just kind of see, like, this did not age well. Like,
No, it didn't. And
Return of the Jedi is not a very good movie.
No, especially that one. And all of them are riddled with, like, really loose plots and kind of just easy storytelling. And obviously, like, episode 5 is really good. It's my favorite one. From the original trilogy. But because that one has this real sense of creativity and scale. Like, if you watch episode 4 and you watch episode 5 right after, the way they expand the universe is actually unreal. And the production quality and the sets, it's just the actors running around. It's like a whole another level. And then 6 is this weird revert back to like episode 4. And it feels really like cheap and the sets feel really fake. And Endor to me is a really uncreative planet. Like,
are you talking about Earth?
Yeah, I know. It's just like, it's frustrating. And then we went on the prequel journey, which I enjoyed rewatching them.
Yeah, the prequels are fun because we don't have these massive expectations for them anymore. We just know you watch them for the action scenes and the memes.
And there are Star Wars. Like, we grew up with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I remember at the time I loved them.
Yeah.
Revenge
like,
of the
especially
Sith
Attack of the
was-
Clones. Like, yeah, watching that, even back, it's so much fun. Like, there's so much cringe. There's so much meme. But they're actually pretty good.
Well, that kind of brings us into the sequel trilogy now, our
That's
latest trilogy. And, I mean, JJ got a lot of flack for Force Awakens for basically copying A New Hope.
Right.
But it's kind of like what you talked about is these movies are not, you don't watch them for their plot. But now moving into this new generation of tentpole Marvel films and whatnot, you kind of have this expectation that you're watching something more for the plot. And I think that's what everyone was expecting for Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
But then we kind of go to TLJ, Last Jedi, and when Rian Johnson tries to do something differently.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly. And that's a point I have here is, you know, if Rise of Skywalker is incredible, people will praise JJ and hate on Rian Johnson for ruining what has been a great trilogy. And if it's a shit movie, people will shit on Rian Johnson for saying you left him with nothing.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. Like, one of my questions for you here is, it really seems as if 2 points here. One, I think us as a society have been really harsh on this new sequel trilogy.
I agree.
we've just been so scrutinizing, and we've shredded it, and we've just looked for anything to like or dislike, and we just forget to actually just sit down and just be, it's just a movie. Like, just watch it, and if you don't like it, that's fine. But the way that we there's these factions of haters and lovers. It's just true. It's gotten so out of hand.
It is, yeah. But I know going to this movie, like, plot wise, I'm not sure, but I do know I'm going to get a couple good eye candy scenes.
Yeah, it's going to be entertaining. And the other question I have for you is, do you think this trilogy will forever be scarred by insane hype and each movie suffering from trying to differentiate itself from its predecessor?
Yes. Yeah. What a great question. I mean, that's more of like a statement, if anything, if you want to rephrase that. And I think, that's what this,
because episode 8 was like, we're not going to do the same thing episode 7 did. That was just to get fans re-familiar with Star Wars. You're not going to believe how different this is. And then everyone's like, wait, this isn't Star Wars. And now this one's like, no, this is Star Wars again.
We don't want it different, but we don't want it the same. Find us that happy medium.
And I think JJ was probably the right, well, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm hoping he's the right man.
Yeah, are you happy that they went back to JJ, or were you expecting?
I was really happy with that.
Okay.
I didn't think Colin Trevorrow had the...
Oh, of course not. He got dropped even before The Last Jedi, so...
Yeah. It was weird how they announced all 3 directors at the same time.
Yeah.
To me, that was... I think they should have found someone to shoulder the entire trilogy. I know that's a lot to ask. I think they were looking at their Marvel movies and were like, well, we got different directors for all those. This is one big story, though. And the prequels, as flawed as they are, they do all feel very cohesive and by one man.
It's one vision, right?
Yeah.
All right, Anthony. As always, I have here some fast questions.
Bring it on, fast questions. I'm ready.
Fast questions. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. I'm ready.
Question number 1.
Yep.
Will there be more than one lightsaber fight?
Yes. I think there'll be one in the first 5 minutes, and then one in the middle, and one at the end.
Oh, God, I'm praying. I'm praying there's more than one.
Yeah.
Question number 2. When the dust has settled, which will have a higher RT, this or Cats?
Oh, man. Critics love Tom Hooper. I'm going to say Cats.
Oh, okay.
Meow.
Question number 3.
Yes.
How quickly will Rose's character be written out?
I think they'll give her a little rescue scene about halfway through the movie, and then she's going to be like, this is your fight.
Oh, I think she's going to be like in the intro and then gets pulled away. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Bye. Yeah. Rose, you've been promoted to strategist. You stay behind. That's all I have for fast questions.
Oh, that's all you got I got 10 fast questions here because this is a special edition.
I thought I'd just keep it to 3. Usually I have more. But...
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hit you with some fast questions.
Go ahead.
I want like instant answer here.
Okay.
Will Hayden Christensen appear in this movie?
I said I want Hayden Christensen. So yeah.
Will Luke Skywalker somehow have a lightsaber duel to make up for the fact he didn't have one in the last movie?
Oh, great question. If they were smart, yes, but I don't think they will.
I think you will.
That would be
almost
amazing.
Positive he's gonna have a lightsaber,
like a flashback lightsaber.
I don't think he's dead. I really don't.
Wow, that's a hot take. I'm gonna have to write that down.
I think it's somewhere. They've mentioned it a few times in the franchise. The Netherlands of the Force, or I think that's what Yoda called it in Episode 3. I think one of the big reveals of this movie is going to be that you can. The Jedi who die like Obi-Wan and not all of them, but the ones who die like by disappearing, they've become one with the Force, and the Force culminates to bring them back for like basically an endgame moment.
Well, I have that written down here. Will we get an endgame level portal scene?
100%. You're gonna get Hayden. You're gonna get Mark Hamill.
You're
gonna get all the fans.
You're gonna get Ewan out there too.
I'd be shocked. But maybe.
I would love to see some Ewan.
Okay.
And on the other side, you got like Darth Maul, Count Dooku.
He's dead, man. Will Kylo Ren die in this movie?
No.
Will Rey die in this movie?
No.
Will Finn die in this movie?
No.
Will Poe die?
No.
Will we finally see the demise of C-3PO and or R2-D2?
Maybe,
I think C-3PO's like gone.
I think C-3PO's gonna
Goodbye,
get like,
my friends.
Yeah, that line. His eyes go all red. Like something's going on.
Will we see a severed limb of some kind? Big theme of the Star Wars franchise. Hasn't happened in the new trilogy yet, as far as
I'd like to see someone's leg get taken off.
Yeah,
we've seen it like what, hand and arm.
We saw a triple with Anakin on Mustafar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we will, but I just thought I'd ask you that. Will the day ever come where we see Episode 10?
So another trilogy or just a standalone
one
episode?
That they market as Episode 10. I know we'll get more trilogies. But
I think so, yeah. I think we'll
10,
get an
11,
episode
12.
10. But honestly, if they were smart, it would be 15, 20 years down the road.
Yeah, because you look at all the marketing material and it's the saga comes to an end.
Exactly.
It's exactly what the marketing material of episode 3 did, and it's exactly what the marketing material of episode 6 did.
But pitching this idea as a saga returning is what really got everyone in butts into seats for Force Awakens. So I think, I mean, they'd probably repeat it in about 15 years. They should give it some time.
I think initially they'll distance themselves as much as possible with like a new trilogy. It's not even, obviously Jedi will always have some kind of place, but like, I think it'll center around
their biggest money maker is a lightsaber. So.
Yeah, true. And will we see Rey and Finn in future Star Wars movies?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or are they donezo?
They'll probably return, the one-off, kind of what Harrison did and what, was it Billy D. Williams?
Yeah, Billy D. Williams. I think that Finn is going to die in this movie.
That's what I had. That I was going through
he almost died in Last Jedi.
Yeah, I was going through deaths in my head here, and like if you look back to the original trilogy, no one really died. Like Darth Vader died.
But Harrison Ford did ask to be killed.
Yeah, because he was like, he's gotta get. Oh wait, in the original trilogy?
Yeah, in the original trilogy, he did actually ask famously for George Lucas to do it because he thought it would add some gravitas.
Yeah,
but he's no. Because George Lucas wasn't really about that. He just wanted a nice happy ending.
Exactly, your heroes live out, and I think that's what we're gonna get again. I think. Do you think Leia will die?
No.
Yeah, they probably won't.
I think it'll be kind of like how they handled Paul Walker in Fast and Furious. Just be like she has to go off somewhere, and there's sort of like a heaven-like metaphor where she walks into like a light.
Maybe she turns into a Force ghost.
Yeah,
she disappears as well.
But like, yeah, exactly. Or she leaves a starship and it kind of opens and it's like really bright. She just kind of walks through it. Yeah, that's what I think.
It's respectful. Okay, let's get into some predictions here.
Okay,
I think and I hope that they will redeem General Hux, Dom Gleason, and we'll kind of get rid of that buffoonenery we saw
and forgot about him
and make him really vile and evil.
Like a torture scene, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, wow, you actually made the decision to do that? And you really start to hate this character instead of comic relief.
Yeah, wow. I honestly hadn't even thought about General Hux. He's never been a great character for me.
I loved him in Force Awakens, like when he gives like the Nazi-esque speech.
By dimensional cannons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll fire a prediction at you. This is kind of deep here. I'm getting a little philosophical with this. But Rey becomes the first Jedi to fully embrace both the light and the dark, bringing balance to the Force and restructuring the confrontational structure of the Jedi versus the Sith.
What does that mean?
Because the Jedi have this, and Luke alluded to this in Episode 8. He's like, the Jedi just don't work. It's this unrealistic, good, no flaws, and I think like naturally, if you have a light side, there has to be a dark side. So trying to be firmly on one side just creates this never-ending cycle. And I think the Force is like has a natural way of trying to balance itself. So I think it's going to reveal that like the Skywalker is really just an embodiment of the Force trying to restore balance.
Okay, yeah, it's like a mixture of both.
Yeah, but I think since she may be the latest version of that, but she tries to like she's not gonna accept that fate, and she's just gonna be like, yo.
Okay.
It's 2019. Sometimes we're good, sometimes we're bad.
Sometimes we're both.
Yeah. Wink.
This one is more of a question posed towards you, and I truly do not know the answer to this, and if you do know the answer, then just skip it. Okay. But if you don't, then we can kind of dive into it.
Okay.
Based on the promotional material, teaser 1, I truly do not know if Darth Sidious will be coming back. If it's a ghost, if it's a dream, or if...
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Do you think he's coming back?
Yeah. 100%. They wouldn't do the laugh if he wasn't coming back.
Okay, so if he's coming back, then I would expect Hayden, Mark Hamill, I would expect them to come back.
Right. And do you have any theories as to how he's returning?
I have no clue.
Because I don't think they'll try and do he survived that fall. I think it's got to be some reincarnation or like...
they might do he survived the fall, because in the end of the teaser, they're visiting the fallen Death Star, right?
Yeah, and that's one of my questions like coming up here. But and tying into that, I do believe that Palpatine is Rey's father.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my neck on the line. I'm like 80% sure.
Dude.
You're my daughter. Rise. I think he's gonna give her like a Darth name and everything, and she's gonna like ride. She's gonna ride with it, and she's gonna turn to the dark side.
But maybe Kylo brings her back.
But no, she's not actually. She's just like it's an act.
Okay.
I think she's like gonna draw it out and have a fight with Kylo.
Okay.
And then I think, and then they kind of did this in episode 8. They team up and then
Yeah.
kill the Emperor. So they
that's what I have a prediction that her and Kylo are gonna team up.
Yeah, I have another prediction here. I think they're just gonna go full on fan service, and Luke Skywalker comes back, and him and Rey have a big old lightsaber fight against Rey or Kylo in the Empire.
That'd be so sick.
Because the way they did that in episode 8 was like,
it was
what
pathetic.
What are you guys doing?
No two lightsabers collided in The Last Jedi.
And not even that, they teased it so hard with Luke and...
They're like, this is it. Mark Hamill's he's doing like personal acting classes, and he comes out and he just doesn't do shit. He makes a couple dodges and then he disappears.
And that whole subverting expectations thing...
That's a cop-out. That's bullshit.
Talking about. There's a difference between subverting expectations and copping out. Mm-hmm. And I do respect him, and he's pulled a lot of cred back from Knives Out.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was he's a better director and writer than like we can ever hope to be.
Yeah.
So I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying that was a mistake that he made.
Was a mistake.
Yeah.
And hopefully one day, like, do you think, this kind of leads into one of my questions here, do you think JJ is kind of pissed off with Rian Johnson? No. I know he said in an interview that he's like, yeah, I'm glad the direction he took, but deep down he's probably like, what the fuck?
I don't know. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy. I feel like him and Ryan have probably had long conversations about like why he did what he did and the themes, and I'm sure that I'm sure that he maybe doesn't agree, but he respects like Ryan's decisions.
Okay. Here's a follow-up question, kind of related.
Yeah.
Are we going to explore the Snoke backstory?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Will we learn any more about Snoke? I mean, it's going to be hard for them to ignore it, but I don't want them to get stuck in that exposition trap.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's like, it's not true. Like, what really happened was this, like the old Fantastic Beasts 2 syndrome. Have you seen that? Stay the fuck away from that movie. I think
they might leave it blank because that kind of gives them some wiggle room to make a prequel to this sequel trilogy, and then they can kind of explore that,
I think
right?
Maybe when the Empire comes back, he may be the reason. Maybe Snoke was his like attempt at resurrecting himself. Yeah,
kind of like a Voldemort Harry Potter 1 kind
of
thing.
A Quirrell thing. Yeah, and like really Snoke was the one, like kind of a Peter Pettigrew Voldemort situation.
Okay,
however you want to look at it, but I changed my mind. I think they'll give us a little bit of Snoke explanation just to shut us up.
Yeah, okay. Do you think we're actually?
We haven't stopped whinging about it ever since.
Here's the one here. I'm curious to see Poe and Finn's role, because hopefully we have a bit of a stronger subplot than going to Canto Bight. I'm wondering if they're going to be part of the main story, because Star Wars always prides themselves on running like 3-4 stories at once.
Right.
So
I think that yes, but at the same time, I do think that this one, because it's the episode 9, I think we'll see a plot with mostly Rey, Finn, and Poe together.
Oh, I would down.
Just keep it simple.
Exactly.
Keep it simple. You can obviously Rey's gonna have to go and do her own mission at some point. But like for the
hopefully
majority,
it doesn't drag. We kind of talked about an endgame level portals scene, just to kind of
Disney do that twice in 1 year.
I just want to
so fucking lazy.
Just to expand on that, I hope that we get like two sides on a battlefield running into each other head on, because I know the Star Wars climax likes to do the space battle, the battlefield, and then the lightsaber battle, kind of 3 battles going on at once.
Because Attack of the Clones did that on Geonosis.
Phantom Menace did it as well with Anakin.
Do you think we might get like all the Sith, like Darth Maul, Vader,
and it's just like straight on, just like running at each other. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be great. I'm so excited. And we should mention now, I'm actually, for the first time, we're not seeing the movie together.
No, yeah.
I'm seeing it tomorrow. You're seeing it the day after.
Yeah. Anthony's going to send me all the spoilers.
Yeah, I'm just going to ruin it. You wouldn't even do the post show with me, would you? Have to do
I don't think I'd be friends with you anymore, to be honest.
So fair.
I was going into this and I was like, because I was so excited to watch The Last Jedi, and I was so disappointed after that.
I was crushed, man.
Exactly. So I'm trying to go into this with tempered expectations, but it's hard because it is a Star Wars movie. But and that kind of leads into my point where this almost doesn't feel like the end of a saga,
because this trilogy's just flown by because it's been so controversial.
Exactly, and like I blame that on The Last Jedi, just because it didn't feel like it flows right. It feels like I'm getting
3 separate movies.
Exactly, or hopefully a movie with a gap and then a flowing movie that comes after.
Right.
But we're still gonna always have that gap and that segment in our mind. And
speaking of segment, I'd like to take a quick break from predictions here.
Okay.
For name that opening scene.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you went first this time. You always drop it on me.
Okay, I think we're gonna get a title crawl.
Really?
Yeah. I think we're actually gonna get a time jump, 10-year time jump, 5-year time jump
into the future.
Future, and it's gonna be Rey, Poe, and
I'm trying to remember exactly how Last Jedi left off.
They were leaving the Millennium Falcon after a crate.
Kylo was the new supreme leader.
Yeah, and they were kind of talking about rebellions are built on hope. So title crawl, 5-year time jump. Exactly. What is it gonna say? I don't know.
What was the first word?
War.
Conflict.
The First Order reigns supreme. We're gonna be on that. I think I saw like a. Based on the
I'm
teaser,
excited for this movie.
We saw like a sand planet. I think there's just gonna be like a confrontation between.
You keep going, and I'm gonna do all the sound effects.
Okay, there's gonna be a confrontation between Kylo
dun, dun.
and Rey,
Dun, dun.
and that's when we get our first little taste of a little lightsaber fight. Maybe a lightsaber throw. I would love to see that.
That's garbage. No,
Garbage will do.
No, so that's very good.
Go ahead.
That's the opening scene in the trailer, in the teaser.
Yeah.
In the teaser. So you've just gone with that.
Yep, that seems to be the theme with my paint that opening scenes.
All right.
Show me what you got.
I'm going out. I'm taking
I know
a
you
risk.
got something.
Yeah. For the first time in the history of the Star Wars universe, we open on a flashback.
Title crawl first?
Before the title crawl.
Bullshit.
Okay, then it's after the title crawl.
Okay, good.
I don't want to be hung to dry on that.
Yeah, okay.
And then we open on a flashback. In the peak of the Galactic Empire, Darth Vader retires to his chambers.
You know, I don't want to do the sound effect. That's what you you to tell me this because I'm really into
He
it.
slumps into his sleeping back-to tank and stares into the abyss of the galaxy. Wincing in pain, he removes his helmet as we see a burned and broken Hayden Christensen.
Oh my god, okay.
He says, okay, this is where it gets a little like questionable, but he says something to the effect of, "I'm so sorry, my children."
Is this said to himself? Or is he forced talking to them?
"I'm so sorry, my children." Yeah. No, because it's off. His helmet's off.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it fades to black. Then we get the title crawl. Or then we go back to where we are.
I like that.
Yeah. I think that they need... This is the last chance we'll ever get to see like Darth Vader in a movie, really. Because I think after this, let's move on from him.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree.
And he's still... Because you got Anakin, you got Luke, you have Rey. But like the entire saga is about Anakin at the end of the day.
It is, yeah. And
his actions and what he did,
the prophecy and the chosen one and all that.
The
right?
shift in power from the Republic to the Sith. And they're still quabbling over those actions today. So I think we need some Darth Vader in this movie.
Okay. I would like to see that. And I hope they do right by Hayden.
Yeah, I watched episode 3 yesterday, and he's actually pretty good in that movie.
I mean, he's very robotic, but everyone
he's
blames
not
the
though.
script.
Well, his
right?
arm is.
Okay.
He's terrible in Attack of the Clones, but it's like kind of like Daniel Radcliffe. He gets better as it goes on.
Yeah, and I think he's...
You will not take it from me!
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's good. Like, that line hits me every time.
Yeah, no, he's good.
I would have done that yourself.
I would love for him to come back in this movie.
Yeah,
and almost
really
not
grown.
in a flashback. Just like... maybe as a ghost. Yeah, I don't know.
The portal. It's all about
the portal scenes on your left.
Yeah. Let's get back to our predictions. I do feel like the Millennium Falcon... I can't say it, dude.
The Millennium Falcon.
I do feel like the Millennium... The Millennium Falcon will be destroyed in this movie with Lando Calrissian aboard.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's a safe bet, right?
Do you think they'll...
for you, Han. Yeah!
Do you think he'll sacrifice himself going light speed?
No, they'll never do that again.
Ever.
I think he's going to like spin it and clip the wing of a galactic ship, and it's going to like crash, and it's going to get them off the tail of of Rey's little mini ship.
Okay,
an escape pod. Or
yeah,
something.
I think Lando's going to be used as like a Deus Ex. He's going to come in at the last second and save their lives.
Yeah, and I think he'll definitely die in this movie. I'm almost like that's probably the most confident prediction I have. He's done.
He's done.
They want him in this. He's got the lowest stock of any actor in Hollywood, and he's in the biggest
Hi, Billy D. It's Kathleen. Yes.
Yes. Please.
Kill me. Here's a quick question for you, Anthony.
Yeah.
In the teaser, I think we see C-3PO with red eyes.
You sounded like Anakin Skywalker there. I think.
We see C-3PO with red eyes. My theory for that is there's some sort of chip that hacks all the droids, kind of like an Execute Order 66, but for droids.
I hope not.
Why does he have red eyes then?
I think that C-3PO has like a hidden battle mode that's never been used
Oh
before.
my god, that'd be amazing.
Hold on one moment. It's time to fuck some shit up.
Turns into General Grievous 2.0.
No, I think it's like some military mode. And he's gonna like just take over one of the ships and start like fucking up other ships.
Oh dear. So sorry.
I'm liking this more than I should.
R2?
Just drop R2 on me. Ow. Yeah, okay. That's decent. I got I got another one for you. What is Rey doing at the remnants of the original Death Star?
I think she's getting...
She's trying to retrieve something, right?
I thought she's getting like force contacted by something. It's going to be something like,
so why there of all
she's got, I'm getting pulled to this location.
Location. I think that's where like the Emperor is being like resurrected. Yeah, maybe he's calling to her to come there. Or maybe she has to retrieve something of Darth Vader's to bring him back in some way. I don't know. There's the resurrection seems to be a big theme of this movie. I believe it was George Lucas's treatments for episode 7, 8, and 9. He originally made episode 7 about Luke Skywalker's hand. It started on his severed hand being on some like ocean planet. And for some reason,
these are his notes he's made?
Yeah, like he handed them all over when they sold. And he apparently was like hopeful they would at least like use a bit of it, but apparently they just threw it straight in the garbage.
Garbage will do.
Yeah, and then a lot of fans have been upset about that because they hated him. Now they love him. But
yeah, we want George back.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna pay homage to his like idea in some way.
Okay.
And have them retrieve something of Darth Vader's for some reason.
Okay.
And I do think that's where we'll get our final.
Our climax duel,
on the stormy top of the.
That's where the portals come out.
Yeah. Do you think we might get a Qui-Gon appearance?
There is no way we're getting Liam Neeson out in full Jedi garb.
Rey, drop! As he comes in.
I think for some reason I feel like we might get a you in like voice cameo.
Shit. I don't want any more voices.
Use the Force, Luke.
Do it or don't. Aman, which Skywalker is rising?
I think it's just like what you said earlier was like it's the brand Skywalker.
The whole Skywalker brand.
Skywalker brand is like because
T-shirts.
Yeah, when he said like 1,000 years of teaching is within you, so it's like the Skywalker teachings.
Right. Are you trying to say the Force, the Skywalker whole bloodline is really not like a genetic bloodline? It's more just an incarnation of the Force trying to balance itself.
Exactly. You kind of get this like gray Jedi.
So is Rey the latest of that, or is she separate?
Yeah, maybe she'll adopt the Skywalker name.
Rey.
She doesn't have a last name, right?
Or she'll destroy it.
Oh,
like it's time for this to end. This is all Last Jedi.
That's the Last Jedi. Yeah.
Whoever had that idea
Let
was
the
on the right
past
track.
die.
Yeah. Okay.
Kill it if you have to.
So another prediction you haven't really answered. Okay.
We haven't really talked about Adam Driver much.
What's his whole arc? Yeah.
What's Kylo doing? This is he in pursuit of Rey to just snuff out the Jedi? Yeah. Is he driven with that, or is he maybe he's got something else going on? Maybe they're like, oh, we haven't heard of Kylo in 5 years. He hasn't surfaced.
And like the Knights of Ren, they have to bring it. They have to.
They have to. Yeah. They have no choice not to. And
like,
I think they will.
Don't really know who they are or what they are, and that feels like a movie in itself, or like a big part of a movie. So to try and shoehorn that in is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, JJ's probably had a lot of sleepless nights. Like, Ryan, fuck you.
I shouldn't have to like do like external extended universe readings to figure out who the Knights of Ren are. Like, it should
don't put them in the movie.
Exactly. Don't mention it.
It's like, Rebels is canon.
Yeah.
No.
Like, so is Kylo going to die?
Yeah.
Is sacrifice or straight up death?
I think Rey will kill him.
Okay.
Not because she wants to, but because she has to.
Maybe she's got a lightsaber to like Poe's neck or something.
I think it'll be something.
Or sorry,
I don't know why this popped in my head, but you know, Man of Steel when he kills Michael Shannon.
Oh yeah, and he just hates it because he's about to kill the kids, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay,
she's like, stop.
Yeah,
and he's just like about to kill a bunch of people like with the Force, and she just like has to put him down.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like
I want to see like a sweaty Adam Driver who's just so angry, just marching through, and he's again letting his emotions kind of take over him.
Having said that, I would like to see a Kylo redemption arc, but you killed your dad, You're responsible for the death of thousands.
You tried to kill your mom.
We let Darth Vader off the hook pretty quick for slaughtering the younglings as soon as he just threw an old man off a tower.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all a bit... I just don't think they should make those mistakes again.
Fair enough.
Double down. Let Rey be like... I want her to do some bad stuff.
Okay, so you really want Rey to kind of tread that line between light and dark, good and bad.
Yeah. What would make Aman walk out of the movie and say, I'm really satisfied?
Okay, I like that question. I want to see, I think we touched on this earlier, a bare minimum of 2 lightsaber fights with lightsaber on lightsaber contact.
Yeah, and like what kind of level of skill? Because there's Revenge of the Sith, which is probably too skilled.
Dude, that's a little too skilled.
And
what
Force Awakens bothered me a little bit.
Oh my god, rewatching Force Awakens.
It's very good, but it bothers me that Finn doesn't die.
Yeah, okay,
you
fair
just killed
enough.
your dad, and you're holding back on someone you barely know, who you think's a traitor. Bothered me a bit.
But rewatching it, it was so like visceral and raw, and every connection felt so heavy, and that's what I want.
Especially with Kylo's lightsaber being a bit milky almost.
Drips
a little
so
bit.
True, yeah.
So I want more of that. What would make me really satisfied is a lightsaber duel between the Emperor and Luke. Somehow, some way.
That'd be pretty cool.
Emperor's coming back. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Luke is going to come back.
On top of lightsaber on lightsaber contact, I would like to see almost like Rey on a battlefield.
Yeah, I know. We haven't really seen much of that in this.
Yeah, I want to see her carving through stormtroopers, that kind of thing.
Because like in the prequels, all the Jedis were really skilled, and we saw a lot of bolt and bullet reflecting.
Yeah,
we've had 2 of those the entire trilogy. So basically, we want to see a heavily action-packed movie that answers some lingering fan questions.
Exactly, and I want every character to be involved
and have their good moment.
Exactly, I don't want to just write off Finn to go off and do something and come back with no real consequences. I want them to all be contributing.
I want some stakes. I want some big character deaths, old characters and new characters.
Some danger.
We want the stage to be set that the future of the Star Wars universe, this is done. It's not something that's gonna repeat itself again. You know what I mean? You can't have 30 years the black flag and the that's enough.
And the rebellion.
Let's resolve this big dispute once and for all. Okay, what is your predicted out of 10?
Oh man, you can't ask me that. I'm gonna come to that theater and think it's a 10. I think
it's gonna slowly damper its way down to a 7.
Well, Force Awakens sitting at an 8. I think I gave it an 8.
I agree with you there.
Last Jedi,
I want an 8.
Yeah, an 8. Give me an 8.
All right, so I'll get to see it first. I'll try my best not to message you until after
I'm gonna put you on mute for the next 48 hours.
I might send you a couple little quotes,
couple memes, couple gifs.
Baby Yoda.
All right,
and
so
see you in 1,
3, 2, 1. And we're back.
I knew we'd be back.
Okay.
That's a bit of a mix between Palpatine and Leia.
Yeah, seriously. There's a little bit of a hybrid there. So, Anthony, we are back from our separate viewings of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
I've already seen it twice.
Yeah, that's bold.
Yeah, I'm a little Star Wars'd out.
Quick initial impressions.
We haven't talked at all.
We have not. I'm so curious.
Do you want to say your rating on the count of 3?
Okay.
So we'll go 1, 2, 3, then the rating.
Okay. 1, 2, 3,
8.
6.5.
What? I thought it was fucking awesome.
Oh my god, I thought it was very mediocre.
That's just so surprising. I thought you were going to be all over it.
Let's get into this.
Let's go. What are your initial thoughts on the movie?
I was very whelmed. It kind of hit a few points that I liked, and then it just kind of was very convoluted.
Yeah.
It was very meh, I felt.
I've got so much to say.
I got so many counterpoints.
Yeah.
So.
Let's go. My initial thoughts were, it was the first one of the sequel trilogy that I genuinely felt not bored with. I felt pretty bored watching Force Awakens.
No, you didn't.
Oh my
god! Just because you've seen it 17 times, this is ridiculous. You're flip flopping on Force Awakens is disgusting.
I like Force Awakens. I give Force Awakens a 7.
You gave it an 8 last week.
Force Awakens is a good movie, but it is quite slow paced. That's all I mean. It's a really good movie. This one and Last Jedi, obviously, we don't need to talk any more about that. Mm-hmm. This one was lightning paced, which really suited
Yeah, pretty jammed pack, eh?
Yeah, it really suited a conclusion for me. It was very quick. I felt that the characters were far more interesting than the last two, way more developed, way better relationships between the characters. And I know I'm starting to realize that I am in a minority here, but for me, I thought it recaptured the whimsical feel, and it was slightly predictable, but it really didn't bother me because I think what people need to just realize is that if you rewatch all these movies, I don't think any of them are particularly airtight in terms of plot holes
and
or
plot devices and stuff like
plot
that,
devices.
Yeah.
They're all a bit cheesy. They're all a bit campy. They all have plot holes. And this one...
Yeah, I see some of the complaints of people saying about the plot devices in this one. And we saw with Last Jedi, like the light speed suicide thing. And
right.
like that doesn't bother me as much. It's just like this movie just felt messy and too packed.
Did it though? It had... Can you blame JJ?
No, that's the whole thing. I can't blame him.
He was left with a
scraps.
Mess.
Yeah,
he was left with a massive mess, and I think he and all the people involved like did everything they could to come up with something that was emotionally satisfying, action packed, fixed some of the mistakes, did some new things, brought back some characters. Like you couldn't really ask for much more.
I think you're being your loyalty for Star Wars is a little high, and I think in a few days or a few weeks, I think you might come back.
Don't patronize me.
You might come back down to Endor.
All right. Well, let's dive into some specifics here. The first question I had was, what were your thoughts on the pace of the movie? Because it's a noticeable difference from the previous two in terms of pace.
It was nonstop, but it felt like they just jammed so many things in. Like you couldn't get a breath in, even when like
which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Certain emotional moments, it was just like, okay, next thing, and like I almost would have preferred it if they did episode 9 then episode 10. It doesn't have to be a trilogy. It could have been one more.
I don't know. I felt like I feel like the third, if you think of each trilogy as one story, the third act of any story is always the most jam-packed.
I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, if we look at Endgame, it was almost one of the slower ones, right? That's emotionally satisfying.
It's emotionally satisfying, but in terms of like the amount of characters, it's pretty jam-packed.
That's fair.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the flip-flop consensus of this movie compared to Last Jedi? Look at Last Jedi's critic score in the 90s, audience score in the 40s. This time, I think the critic score is in the 50s and the audience is in the 80s.
Yeah. Like I understand why, because there are enjoyable moments. You get what you want to get out of a Star Wars film, but as a movie as its whole, it's nothing that you're gonna marvel at. I mean, it's nothing that's gonna blow your socks off.
I thought the action was the best of the three.
The action was good. I agree
by far.
Yeah.
The visceral physics of the like speeder chase on, was it Passima, that other sand planet?
The sand planet was good.
Yeah, that was excellent to watch. I thought that the aerial fight scenes were really well done this time around. The lightsaber hand-to-hand combat was the best I think ever.
Yeah, that was a good lightsaber fight.
The way that the rain was hitting the saber and the impact and the sound design, I thought was just like, it's taken them 9 movies, and I think they finally absolutely perfected lightsaber combat. It obviously started really slow and bad. Yeah. Then they went too far in the prequels where it just looked like it's just like so
how'd it go?
And this time it was hard-hitting, skilled, quick. So I thought that was brilliant.
It's funny because I actually have like all those points you listed. I have those under my like things I liked. Right. I guess I just don't weight them as heavy as you.
Yeah, and that's actually probably true. I think I'm weighting those things quite heavily. And I'll talk about. I'm not saying this is a perfect movie by any means, and I've got quite a few flaws, which we'll get into. But my argument is, you can find these flaws in any other Star Wars movie.
Fair enough. Yeah. So I have a little point here that I feel like we hold Star Wars to too high of a standard.
100%. There was no way this movie was going to satisfy everyone. There was no way The Force Awakens was, and there was no way Last Jedi was.
Yep.
So you just have to accept that. I think we really struggle, a lot of us do, with forming our own opinions these days. We get so swayed by the general consensus.
Yep.
And I just had a big smile on my face from start to finish. Thought it was a really, really enjoyable movie. And I'll argue that with anyone. I
feel like, about 3/4 of the way through, I kind of just... my interest started falling off, and I started thinking to myself, like, do I really like this movie?
Right.
And the answer was meh. I loved me some JJ tracking shots. He loves to do like
his
in
camera
the
work,
circle.
and
His camera work has always been good, and compared to Force Awakens as well, it's what we saw.
One thing that bothers me a lot is I saw, you know how Rotten Tomatoes tries to summarize an entire movie with one snippet from one critic review?
Yeah.
One of the census reviews, the main review says, Rise of Skywalker suffers from a lack of imagination. I found that quote really disrespectful. Mm-hmm. Like, how dare someone sit from their little throne in their little screening that they had and just slate this movie for having a lack of imagination.
The Emperor of Rotten Tomatoes on his throne.
The camera work, the cinematography, the action, the production design, the aliens, the music, like that's a naive comment in my opinion.
The aliens were good. Shout out to Babu Frick.
Yeah, he was
hilarious. Lightsaber fights were good, and you mentioned this a little bit earlier. Just to reiterate it, all the characters were involved in something that felt important. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed that they kept them all together, right?
They did.
And that was nice.
I thought that Poe, I enjoyed him more than I have in the other films.
Yeah.
It was the first movie where he didn't just feel like a wannabe Han Solo.
Yeah. And the humor worked compared to The Last Jedi. The one part, like C-3PO was hilarious.
C-3PO he had some really good zingers.
That Poe, the look he does at the end when he's like,
Yeah,
and then she shakes his head. Yeah. That fucking got a big laugh out of me.
And then, just a quick thing as well is like, I think a big thing about this whole franchise is time and perception. Mm-hmm. If you go back and look at some of the opening night reviews of Empire Strikes Back, there's tons of negative reviews.
Oh, yeah.
30 years later, saying anything against it's blasphemy.
You're not allowed to talk bad about it.
No.
Empire.
Same with the prequels, slated. But now that the guys who were, between the age of 5 to 10 when those movies came out, they're the dominant voice on social media, and now the prequels have found a whole new love.
Yeah, they have a little niche.
And my theory is that this movie in particular is going to age very well.
That's all right. I'll give you that. That's fair enough.
Yeah, I think in 15 years it'll be like Rise of Skywalker is just like the most all around like sick Star Wars movie. JJ understood Star Wars. The creatures are the best. The lightsaber fights are the best. Once all the hype is settled, we look back, this movie's gonna be remembered very fondly.
I did enjoy the Knights of Ren. I know some people say they didn't do much, but I thought they were pretty cool.
Oh, and the fight scene and the conversations between Rey and Kylo with transporting items around was so cool.
Felt a little clunky, the lightsaber fight, but I knew we weren't gonna get 2 full lightsaber fights.
Yeah,
so we kind of got 1.5 with like the transport or the force,
on top of the
force
Death
teleporting one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that one was great.
That one was definitely the best action scene in the movie. It really established this time that Kylo is the superior fighter.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
and they don't want to kill each other because they're so attached to each other, for better or worse. And all her kind of efforts are just mute by the end. She's still like going for the hits, but he's just like
and you can tell she's like exhausted as well. Right?
And like her wrist is hurting. And I thought that was really good. Just a note, I went to the bathroom the second time watching it through.
That's okay.
Because I wanted to get a look at what people. Because you can tell when an audience is bored when you look back and everyone is there. There's kids with literally mouths agape. Like,
the kids loved it. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, and like my theater I've seen it twice now. Both got applause.
You get applause when Lucasfilms pops up too.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love you. Yeah, George. Yeah. Okay. So my next point here. Now I'm gonna get into some things I didn't like. I don't want to just come across.
That's my whole page here.
Yeah, as a blind fanboy. When Lando is talking about the mission that he went on with Luke to find the clue to the Wayfinder.
You hate blatant exposition, eh?
No, that was fine. But they showed up and they're like, "Oh, we couldn't find it anywhere." They show up, they accidentally fall into quicksand, fall through, and it's like
find a dagger.
It's a completely different color, and it's right next to the ship. And you're telling me that a seasoned Jedi master and like a crafty Lando couldn't figure that out? That bothered me, and they just stumbled across it instantly. The dagger, this seemed to be this ancient Sith relic, yet I don't understand how it therefore was a mapped on the actual Death Star.
And they were standing in like the perfect spot.
Standing in the perfect spot, pulled out the little extension. Yeah, that was really stupid. I'll give you that one. I would have preferred it if it was something Darth Vader had made at a certain time. Maybe it was, but then don't make it look like an ancient relic. That was silly. Didn't like that. There were too many I feel it plot moments that just got the characters from point A to point B. It was a lot of movement. Like with C-3PO, we gotta do this. Now we gotta do this.
Yeah, now we gotta go do this.
I thought there was because there was the moment where he just knew what ship they needed to target, and they're like, "How do you know?" He's I feel it. I'm like, that's pretty lazy.
But he's Yeah,
and
Finn was force sensitive apparently.
Yeah, because at one point they established they didn't need the dagger anymore because they knew the location. Mm-hmm. Yet she's like, "Oh, I think we need it. I just feel it."
Oh yeah. Why did they need it in the end?
They needed it at first because the inscription had the coordinates to the place, but then C-3PO had it in his memory.
Oh yeah, so they needed it to see where on the Death Star it was.
But they wouldn't know that until they got there.
No, you can feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not how the Force works.
Yeah. So that was sloppy storytelling. It's not like any other ones have those, so that's fine. Tatooine seemed like an odd place to lay Leia and Luke's lightsabers to rest. It's kind of an origin of misery for both of them. Leia was enslaved there.
You wish you got a nice Coruscant scene, eh?
Yeah, or Naboo or something. Or like any other planet, even the one that he lived in exile on, because it's peaceful.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leia has no connection to it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, will she really want her memory there?
Yeah.
Luke had a horrible time there. His family was murdered. Couldn't wait to leave. The Imperial credit coin was another.
Oh, I didn't mind that. I thought that was actually kind of cool.
But it came up, and then 2 seconds later, they're like, "Oh, we can only use this when we get an Imperial ship."
Yeah, we can only use it once.
Yeah, nice little slot in the ship.
I thought it was a badge that you like wear on yourself.
Yeah, it was like checking, but like you think with the circumstances they'd be a bit more privy to that. But oh no, let them on. They got the coin that you could have just killed any Imperial officer and grabbed that. So that was pretty dumb as well. But then again, these weren't things that really bothered me until the second time.
Because you knew it was coming.
I was a bit more cynical the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the big things that came to mind that I didn't like.
Okay, I'll get into mine here.
All right.
So my biggest thing was that it felt very compressed. It felt like a compressed story.
Yeah.
These 3 episodes, if we look back at it doesn't really feel like a trilogy.
No.
It almost feels like each episode has been like an anthology.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. There was no overarching, or they don't thematically match. There's no consistency.
Right. You don't feel as if this Emperor thing was the plan the whole time.
Exactly. And that's my next point is this whole Palpatine thing, like it just kind of came out of nowhere and we're just supposed to accept it. Like
the first line of the title crawl.
They tell us in the title crawl, Palpatine is back. Like I was
dead speak.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Give me something more if you want me to suspend my disbelief like that.
I think JJ was like,
this is all I got.
I gotta go for it.
Yeah.
And they try to get it out of the way as early as possible by showing the Snoke clones.
That was cool. I like that.
Very cool.
Very good way of doing that.
They mentioned, I think Dominic Monaghan's character, Charlie from Lost, he mentions that one thing. He's like, oh, it could be dark science, Sith science, this, that.
Yeah.
So I can accept that he's used ancient Sith magic to... Maybe he had clones of himself already. Looks like he's been experimenting with this kind of stuff for a while, and this was just another vessel that his soul has inhabited.
Does JJ put a Lost actor in every one of his movies?
Yeah, the pilot from Lost is in it as well. The kind of chubby guy with the beard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the pilot.
In Force Awakens,
he's in that too. It's the same guy.
Yeah, the Asian scientist.
Yeah, the Asian scientist. So I can accept that he cloned the army over all this time. Like
that's my next point is like this whole
the Final Order.
The Final Order, like when the intro scene with Kylo was amazing on the battlefield.
Dude, it was so good.
The guy I was watching with, like we just looked at each other, like melds a gape. Like this is exactly what we wanted. But then when he goes to see like Palpatine, and then he raises these battleships.
Right.
I truly thought it was a dream sequence. I was like, where the fuck is he getting all this materials from? And like, where is he getting all these people?
The people make sense because
they weren't clones though. Like the people on the ships were all different people. And I was like, that didn't make any sense. You can't find this planet. And now you have like 1,000 battleships.
Right. That is something that I'm sure the canon and the extended universe will deal with. Yeah. But I understand that for those who are just going to watch the movie, they shouldn't have to rely too much on the extended universe to get such critical information.
Exactly.
I'll give you that for sure.
Okay, my next point, this one's actually pretty big here. They were too scared to take any risks. So let me summarize it here. Mm-hmm. They killed Chewbacca. Oh, no, they didn't. They wiped C-3PO's memory.
Can we just quickly talk about how sick the tug of war over the ship
was dope.
The Force was?
That was great. But they killed Chewbacca, and oh, no, they didn't. Yeah. They wiped C-3PO's memory. Oh, no, they didn't. Kylo Ren gets killed by Rey. Oh, no, he didn't. Rey dies in the end. Oh, no, she didn't.
Kylo dies. Stick to it.
Yeah, but Kerry Russell's character, her planet gets blown up. She appears in the final battle. Are you serious?
No, because she was already leaving.
No, she wasn't. She gave her one token to get out to Poe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How brutal is that? They should have killed off Chewbacca in that scene. That would have been so dramatic.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I can't believe they're doing this. Literally the next scene you see him. Oh, okay.
All happy.
They couldn't actually, he's getting rescued.
They take him to the interrogation room and don't even like hurt him.
Yeah.
He's just like chilling.
That was ridiculous.
Oh, what about General Hux? I know you liked that.
Well,
I'm the spy.
Yeah, I wanted him to be more.
Everyone in the theater that I was in just was like, yeah!
Really?
Yeah.
My God. I kind of rolled my eyes.
Oh my God. You cynical man.
It makes sense that he's the spy.
Yeah,
and that's a nice twist, but I wish they didn't just kill him off right away. I know, I get that there's a lot of characters, but he was one of my favorites. I guarantee
if they kept him alive, he'd be like, oh, they should have killed General Hux.
No, I wouldn't.
They should have killed General Hux.
I love Dom Hall.
There should be consequences to his actions.
Dom Hall, if you're listening, I'm a big fan. Okay. Moving on. The Han Solo scene was good.
Mm-hmm. Hey, kid.
Yeah, although I feel like it would have been much, much better if it was an Anakin Force Ghost, and he kind of played by Hayden.
Hey, grandson.
Exactly, and he kind of talks about the dark side and forgiveness and coming back from that. And I know Disney, get over your aversion of the prequels because they exist. And you better start recognizing them because that is ridiculous.
They have started recognizing them. They're giving Obi-Wan his own series.
After fan petitions.
They used his line, the dark side.
And he said
some would consider it to be.
He said, "Do it as well. Do it." But I mean, come on, you got to be able to recognize that.
Yeah, Hayden should have had he got the one audio line. Mace Windu had a line as well.
Mace Windu, that was my next point. So that audio portion with the Jedi Ghost, I thought that was really cool, but would have been much more.
Should get you on this, man, with all your better ideas and the filmmakers.
Exactly. When Rey is fighting off the lightning, it would have been amazing. An amazing shot of all the ghosts appear behind.
So you wanted Harry Potter?
No, I wanted almost Portals but just ghosts. You get Samuel behind there. You get Ewan. You get Hayden. You have everyone behind her.
I just think that
would don't tell me that's a scheduling nightmare.
No, I wasn't gonna say.
Okay, that. Because
they wouldn't have to have them all on set at once.
Well, I'm just saying, you're talking to a movie production company that's made what. $4 billion.
If they wanted
to
do it, they could have done it.
They should have done it.
I think they were worried about it being too cringe and too on the nose.
Well,
which I honestly don't think that would have been a good idea.
I felt the final action piece or the final set piece was lacking some dramatic flair. Mm-hmm. It was Palpatine was throwing some electricity around.
I wanted a lightsaber fight between Palpatine and Ben.
A 2v1, eh?
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
So that was my biggest complaint with the whole movie, actually, is just how easy he just reflects the lightning back on him.
Yeah.
And the CGI looked amazing when he was getting blown away.
Yeah. Killed by his own lightning.
I thought it was really cool how he realized that they had the healing power and it impacted him.
Yeah.
Because when he first said, strike me down and become the Empress, which I love just hearing the word Empress.
Empress was good, yeah.
I was like, oh, how are they going to get it? Because now she can't kill him without giving in, without him winning, basically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But
I was reading. Go ahead.
It was kind of unwise of him to do that because once he absorbed the power himself, they could kill him. But he had positioned himself in a position of immortality, really, because by killing him, he won.
Yeah.
So they would have leave him with the entire fleet. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know why he did that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he kind of monologued a bit.
Yeah.
The whole fleet, the X-wings fighting the fleet, that kind of felt it was too big.
Oh
too
my
much
God.
I'm just saying, man. I'm allowed to nitpick.
A minute ago, that was missing some dramatic flair.
No, but I'm saying it was missing dramatic flair because it felt like no one was really in danger. X-wings were blowing up here and there, but it was just there was so much going on. I don't know what I wanted from it.
Can you name another Star Wars movie where that's not the case?
I think Force Awakens' final scene did it great. You got a trench run going in there, Poe busts in there. It's very it's
no one's at stake though.
It's a large scale, but in a small area.
Yeah, but this is episode 9. This is it. You need the entire free world standing up against the Final Order. You have to go up in scale.
Yeah, where was that free world in episode 8 when Leia puts out the beacon?
I'm not going to sit here and defend episode 8.
I don't think anyone is.
Yeah.
At the very end, when she's on Tatooine and burying the lightsabers,
you sound so defeated.
I was just upset because I wanted to like it.
Right.
So she's burying the lightsabers. That lady comes by. She goes "What's your name?" She goes, "My name's Rey." She goes, "Rey who?" She goes, "Rey Skywalker." How much better would it have been if she had just said, "Just Rey"?
No.
Let the Skywalker end. The whole thing is about, like, it doesn't matter where you come from. It's about, like, what you do, what you make of yourself. Look at Finn, who's a nobody. Now he's a general of the Resistance. Poe was a spice runner. Now he's a general.
She chooses to carry on the name.
But she should have been like, just Rey. Like, I'm happy with who I am. I don't have to adopt this magical last name and kind of, like, almost narcissistic of her.
I feel, what they were trying to do was saying, like, I was burdened with this Palpatine name that was obviously weighing on her very heavy, Rey Palpatine. Mm-hmm. But then Luke has that line when he visits her as a ghost, and he said, some things are stronger than blood. Mm-hmm. So I think she's saying, like, I've been brought in by these people. This is my family, not him. I'm not defined by him. I'm defined by the friends and the bonds that I've made.
Yeah, okay, like that that works. Okay, that works. But I would have still preferred if she said just Rey.
Right. I guess they were kind of shackled to the title, Rise of Skywalker.
They love their Skywalkers.
Yeah, and I would have loved the Rise of Skywalker to just have been Ben.
Mm-hmm. I wish Kylo survived instead.
And there are elements of it that were like Ben.
Yeah.
As the Skywalker, you can kind of interpret it. It's just the name in general. It's that name defeating the Sith, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of a predictable, corny ending, but that's what I feel like this whole saga was born out of. It was born out of very traditional, family-orientated, like Shakespearean drama. Mm-hmm. And it did stick to that. It didn't do what Last Jedi did and break out of that mold and have it be about something completely different. Like, Star Wars is as popular as it is because I think it is a constant. It's like traditional. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you can waver away from it, but ultimately I feel like this entire saga was about the Skywalker. So then people would have been angry. It'd be like, oh, she should have said she was Rey Skywalker because this is about Skywalker.
But you can't say that. You don't know the answer to that.
I do, though.
No, you don't.
Because all three of these movies have had flaws with them. Everyone hated on Force Awakens because it was too similar. Yeah. Everyone hated on Episode 8 because it was too different. Everyone hates on this. I don't even know why. It's like a nice mix.
It definitely, like, I bet you behind closed doors, J.J. Abrams is absolutely furious with Rian Johnson. Yeah. Because it felt like he was like, okay, well, I got 2.5 hours to make my Episode 7 and my Episode 8 in one movie. Because Rian Johnson just didn't follow any of my shit. Like, yeah. And it makes you wonder, like, if JJ had a full vision for 3 movies, I think it would have been way better.
Yeah, I could not agree more with that. And maybe my 8 is slightly inflated.
That's okay, though.
But it's certainly never going to drop lower than like a 7 for me.
My 6.5 might come up.
Yeah, who knows?
But right now,
it's not about, and like a number's enough. You're like, your opinion can change, as I was kind of saying, over the years. And I think ultimately, like, all the people involved with this movie should be proud of what they've done, and don't let all the, I don't want to say haters because it's their opinion if they don't like it, but I'd at least expect the people who don't like it to articulate properly and not just be like, oh, it was dumb. Like, I want to hear why.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, like, I know there's going to be a lot of people that love this movie, and I think that what they've done will, like, any kid going to see this movie will really enjoy it.
I think so. Yeah, I think if this was your first trilogy that you've kind of taken in, I'm sure you loved it every second of it.
Exactly. I think overall, like, from a filmmaking standpoint, like a technical writing, it probably is better than the prequels.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Obviously, in terms of like cinematography and acting, whether it's as cohesive, like the one thing the prequels has going for it is it feels very unified,
fluid, right? Yeah.
And it depends what you weigh as like more important to the success of an overall trilogy. But I do want to touch on some of our predictions.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I said was Rey mixes the light with the dark, becomes kind of like a bit of both. I think that was somewhat right, and I think that's signified by her yellow lightsaber.
Yeah, I was about to say the lightsaber at the end there.
Yeah, she learned aspects of the dark side. She conjured up the Force lightning, which I thought was really cool.
That was so cool.
Yeah, like there's so many little moments. You're like, oh, that was cool. That was cool.
It was cool.
That was cool. Like, how many cool moments do you get before you say you just enjoyed the damn movie?
I enjoyed it. I hold Star Wars to a higher standard.
Yeah, but why is my question?
Because I grew up with the prequels,
but like, this is a better movie than any of those prequels.
I know, but I just have nostalgia playing at home, and it's just like, I want it to elicit the same feeling it did to me. When did the prequels come out?
It can't. Like I think it's time Star Wars fans just accept that you don't want the movie you don't want the movie to be that. You just want to feel the way that you were all those years ago. It's not about the movie. It's just about you've changed. You can't believe in Santa anymore. You can't.
Jesus.
Sorry, if anyone's listening who does. I can't watch Home Alone. If a movie came out just like Home Alone, I'm not gonna fantasize about being Kevin McAllister and planning traps all over the house. It's just, we've grown up, so we see it from a more cynical perspective. We notice the plot holes. These movies are still just as good as the old ones. It's just that no one will ever accept it. It's better than Return of the Jedi. The movie sucks. But we love it because it's Star Wars.
It is. I love it because it's Star Wars.
Predictions.
That was good.
Palpatine is Rey's father.
You had that prediction?
Yeah. You were like, oh, I'd like that.
Oh.
He was grandfather. I'm taking it. I'm taking a ding.
So predictions yeah. All right.
Yeah. Kylo dies for Rey. Ding.
Did you say that as well?
Kylo sacrifices himself for Rey.
Did you listen back to the tape or what?
100%. No, I'm looking at my notes that I wrote down. Okay. I hope I articulated all these. I think I did. We get a quick Snoke answer.
Yeah, I have that written down.
Yeah.
Snoke backstory quickly addressed.
Yeah, they had to get out of the way. Mm-hmm. I didn't want a 15-minute scene on.
No, yeah, I think the way they handled Snoke was actually perfect.
Yeah, and the way that he's like, I've been every voice.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
That was good.
Oh, another really cool moment. Interesting.
It was cool.
Yeah, you like that. Falcon getting destroyed with Lando on board. Just
Lando survived. Had a weird sexual tension scene at the very end.
Was he trying to say he was her dad? Or like, what was he doing?
I don't know, man.
And like the reaction shot on her was like 8 seconds
long.
Yeah,
she's like,
all right. Why don't we find out? And like leaned in. I was like,
they want to make out?
I didn't love it. And when he's like, give Leia my love.
Yeah. I was like,
you haven't changed at all, Lando. You dirty scoundrel.
Skymy dog.
Wrong about Luke fighting Palpatine with Rey.
Oh, that would have been cool, though.
Yeah. Or would it have been cringe? If you'd seen that, would you be I just don't like how they couldn't let...
okay, you don't have to pick on me on the podcast, all right?
I'm not picking on you. I'm just angry with the Star Wars community, I guess.
I have one here. Rose written out quickly. She was.
Oh, yeah. As I was in the I was thinking of you when you said that. Well, you're not coming with us? No, I've been reassigned.
I got to go do this thing. That's exactly what you said.
I think you said that.
Did I? Oh, fuck.
That was nail on the head. And they brought her back again. She was so jealous that Finn was with that other girl.
Yeah.
It's like, where are you going?
Come back to the ship.
Yeah. I didn't love Finn's dopish admiration for Rey. Like, it bothered me. Like, if you guys are great friends, like, you need to understand your boundaries. And, like, when she was over on the Death Star ship, it's like, you're endangering her mission by, like, chasing after her.
Yeah.
And she's clearly settling this, like, big dispute with Kylo. And you're just like, Rey! Like, just give her some space.
Yeah, I think I agree.
And I feel like her kiss with Kylo was good.
Yeah, I had no issues with that.
Yeah, and I think it was more of, like, I don't know if it was, like, lust or, like, anything even sexual. It was just, like, we've like completed
this together and like
like there's this raw. I guess it was sexual. It was like a raw.
There's a couple of dirty dogs.
Yeah. Whereas I do think she has some feelings for Finn, but it's more like let's go for coffee and see where it goes. with Kylo, it's like fucking take off your cowl now.
Get your lightsaber.
Yeah.
Another cool scene I liked was when they finally defeat Palpatine. You see kind of half of Adam Driver's face, and he smiles. I think that's the first time we've seen.
And he looks so cute when he smiles.
Yeah. I'd kiss him.
Easy there. Don't let Rey come after you. Not to completely just like be in love with this movie, but I also feel like the last two, and especially the ones before that, like the blaster combat scenes have just been kind of bland and like not that enthralling.
There was actually a really cool scene where they're like running through Kylo's ship, and your camera's moving with them. I thought to myself, like, this is really cool.
Like when the blasters were actually hitting the when the blasters were hitting the stormtroopers, it was like boom, like you felt the impact.
Yeah.
And I bring it up one more time, but that speeder scene
was good with the jetpacks. Yeah,
it was just really cool.
You're doing a great job convincing me and selling me on this film.
Yeah,
so.
I can't wait for the dust to settle. I can't wait for the dust to settle.
We didn't get Hayden, which would have been nice.
Yeah, and that was I do agree. I think the Han Solo moment was really nice, but it would have made a lot of thematic sense for
it to be
Ben
Darth
have
Vader
to confront, because he longs to be Darth Vader.
Exactly.
Right? He's this figure that he's never met, yet he knows he's connected to with blood. And seeing that moment on screen would have been
really powerful.
It would have connected the prequels to the sequel trilogy, and that was a big missed opportunity.
I'm sure Hayden's got the acting chops to pull it off.
So. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention in my things I liked is I really liked Luke's Force Ghost. him returning, catching the lightsaber. I thought that was very
What
nice.
a middle finger to Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
Was it a
He's like
Jedi's weapon deserves more respect?
Yeah, exactly. JJ's like, Mark, you're going to fucking say it, all right? Mark's like, oh, I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
I'm down. Fuck you, Ryan. They call him, pocket dial him for that one scene.
But no, I'm looking forward to Kenobi 2020. Well, this is going to be great.
I thought, even though I was pretty sure the whole Palpatine thing, they made it pretty clear. By the time that he said it, everyone was thinking it, for the most part. If he had dropped "You're a Kenobi" on her at that point, that would have been nuts.
Yeah, but all the fanboys would be like, oh my God. That's me doing you.
Yeah, that's a good me. But if he said, you're the daughter of an outcast, a Jedi Guardian, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hello there. I do believe, and we'll probably never know the answer to this question, but I think that when J.J. Abrams casted Rey, I do think he had the plan for her to be a Kenobi.
Really?
The English accent is really sus, and I guess the Emperor had an English accent as well. But she just looks like she was casted to look like him. She just looks like his daughter way more than she looks like what's his name? Ian McDermott. And I think that would have been really cool to switch the formula, because before it was Kenobi trains the Skywalker, and then to flip that around and have Luke train a Kenobi. Yeah, would have been really cool, but we'll never know. I'm trying to decide, should they go future or past? Do we go Old Republic? Because if they go to the origins of the Jedi, that would be really cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
And sort of mix some like Lord of the Rings elements in terms of the technology and the runes and the temples. Yeah, yeah. That would be really cool.
Yeah, kind of like a sci-fi fantasy type thing. That'd be cool.
Maybe we'll get Rey trying to get a new Jedi Council going, and because we saw that kid at the end of Last Jedi with the broom.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see him next.
I think that we might see him again. No, I think just the idea of him, if there being more Force sensitive people, I think we'll see Rey maybe trying to train like a new era of
maybe
Jedi.
Trying to train Poe as well. Oh, not Poe. Sorry,
I don't want to see that.
Maybe trying to train Finn.
Rey, I'm telling you, it's not working.
Rey, it's not working. It's not working, Rey.
It's good that these movies divide opinion. If everyone felt the same about each movie, that would be kind of boring. So I'm sure I'm gonna have to have my gloves up for the next couple of years.
I think you might, yeah. But I think you did a really, really good job.
Oh, thank you.
And you're kind of swaying me a bit, because now that I'm reflecting on it, how many times I've said, "Oh, that seems cool. That seems cool." How many cool scenes do I need to move it from a 6.5 to a 7?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth.
We'll see.
But I think the future of Star Wars is take 2 years off. Yeah, which I think they are. I think it's 20. I think it even might be 2022 is the next one, which is basically 2 years from now. So take a few years off. Let's focus on some other characters for a bit, and eventually we can see what Finn and Rey and Poe are up to in about 10 years or so.
All right.
Do you think that being pissed off and unsatisfied is kind of part of Star Wars at this point? Like, do you really want to like the movie completely, or do we kind of like picking it apart? I think we do like picking it. We love to nitpick it. I think there's like, why don't we just stop watching it if we hate them all so much? We're clamoring at the theater door.
Get so excited. I bought my tickets like 2 months in advance.
I think that's it's part of what is so appealing about Star Wars at this point.
It's so every movie's been so divisive, you know.
I know.
Well, it's funny because you got like the diehard fans who are just gonna defend it to the death.
You got the prequel like hardcores now,
and you even got the diehard fans that are just so disappointed with it.
They
just
hate it.
Yeah, so it can go either way, and that's just it's Star Wars season, right?
Yeah, it is, and I think it'll be nice to take a break from it. But I'm sure it'll be back, as it always is.
Yeah, it'll be back. Thank you for listening to another episode, a before and after the movie's Star Wars special.
Thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing you soon.
I've been Aman.
I've been Antony, and we'll see you soon.
Give me another Palpy laugh. Jesus Christ.